In this video, I'm going to be talking about the course outline and objectives for the Nutrition Challenge program. My goal in making this video is to give you a quick glance through the course materials so that you can get a sample of what to expect out of this course during the next 4 weeks. We'll also talk about some of our objectives and what we hope to gain from this 4-week nutrition challenge. Alright, so let's start by breaking it down week by week. In week 1 of the program, we are going to be making quite a few dietary adjustments. And the reason for this is because I want to really set a strong foundation for the next 4 weeks. If we can commit ourselves to making these necessary adjustments right up front, then the rest of the program will click in place. Week 1 is all about establishing a strong dietary foundation that is built on nutrient-dense foods. Here's what that looks like at a glance. And remember that all of these slides are in the course videos, so you'll see these again as we go throughout our program. As you can see, week 1 is action-packed right out of the gate. First, I'm asking you to subtract certain things from your diet that will help to create a more stable metabolic environment. I'll also ask you to change up your eating strategy so that you are focused on eating nutrient-dense foods and you only consume food at certain times of the day. And finally, I'll challenge you to add in certain foods and possibly supplements to ensure that your body is getting the nutrients it needs to kick off the detoxification process. This is a food pyramid that I will introduce in the week 1 video. It is referred to as the Nutritarian Food Pyramid, and it will be our eating guide for the next 4 weeks of this program. As you can see, vegetables are going to play a major role in the diet for the next 4 weeks, so I would ask you to go ahead and make peace with that now. Next up is week 2 of the Nutrition Challenge program. During this week, I'll introduce some more grounding and stabilizing foods that you will prepare for lunch and dinner throughout the rest of the challenge. Here is what the week 2 lesson summary looks like at a glance. Balancing blood sugar, metabolic flexibility, the science of carbohydrates, and G-BOMBs. Here's what that looks like in more detail. We'll start by addressing blood sugar stability and the foods that create peaks and dips in our blood sugar when we eat them. This is a big subject that is critical to understand if your goal is to maintain a healthy metabolism. We're also going to talk about the concept of metabolic flexibility and why it is so important. What are the physical and psychological differences between a person who has a great deal of metabolic flexibility compared to someone who doesn't? In week 2, I'll also break down the science behind how carbohydrates work. And finally, I'll introduce some of the most potent anti-cancer, blood sugar stabilizing foods that you can and should consume on a daily basis. On to week 3 of the program. This is where we will dig into some practical tips that you can use in your everyday life to make a big difference in your overall health. And specifically, I mean that we'll cover 13 diet and lifestyle hacks that will help you to maintain stable blood sugar balance. Here is an example of one of those hacks. We will cover all of the basics regarding grains. Do grains fit into a healthy diet? Are they okay for me personally? Which grains are best and which are worst? How often should I consume them? All of these questions and more will be addressed in week 3. Here's another example of a hack that we will learn about in week 3. Balancing your blood sugar starts at the moment you wake up each day. And we'll talk about the science behind why it's so important to start your day off with balance, as well as how to do that. Now let's look at the outline for week 4, the final week of the Nutrition Challenge program. In week 4, we'll talk about ways to really personalize the diet. Throughout this program, you'll notice that I don't promote a one-size-fits-all way of eating. I believe that bodies are complex, and it's possible to figure out how to eat healthy in a way that works best for you as an individual. Here is the specific outline for week 4. As you can see, there are so many factors that will influence your individual diet plan. We're talking about things like your personal beliefs, your purpose in eating healthy or your goals associated with changing up your diet, your lifestyle, your activity level, your health status, your physical limitations or health conditions, your genetics, your physical constitution, and even the seasons of the year can impact how you program your diet. Here's one example that I mentioned in the week 4 course outline, your physical constitution. Humans come packaged in all shapes and sizes. And that diversity is what makes us so beautiful as a species, but it's also something that makes it impossible for a nutritionist to program a one-size-fits-all diet for all individuals. Even with the healthiest diet imaginable, the man with the physical constitution on the far left is going to consume different types of foods and different quantities when compared to the man with the physical constitution at the far right-hand side of the picture. Some of the reason that our physical constitutions are so diverse is because we have different genetic backgrounds that give us the ability to metabolize different types of foods. We'll also address physical limitations as well as diseases or conditions that may require you to alter your diet. We'll also talk about physical activity level. This plays a huge role in how much food you consume throughout the day, as well as types of macronutrients that are most appropriate for you. As you can see from these topics alone, there are so many different variables that make it necessary for us to create individualized diet plans for ourselves. This has been a brief overview of your 4-week nutrition challenge program. Of course, this is just a sample. There are so many subjects we have yet to touch on. If you have any questions or concerns about the course material, remember that you can email me at andrea.jones.nutrition@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in week 1.